When time steals our years away, shall steal our pleasures too. The memory of the past will stay, and half our joys renew.
Welcome to Irregular Odes on YouTube. This is some reworked footage from the archives. It's a reading from the Corrigin Chronicle of December 26, 1929. So it's a little bit of lost Corrigin history, and I hope you enjoy it. And the reference is on the screen. Please like, share, follow and subscribe to our social media, which will be on the screen, and I hope you enjoy this video. One of the experiences that has been most concerning to me is sitting through the increasingly politicised Welcome to Country ceremonies. Not only have they become a performance in themselves, they also have become increasingly divisive in some organisations. These Welcome to Country ceremonies have been hijacked in these NGOs by the champagne socialists and the bullies, who use these things not because they want to acknowledge the ancestors of the people that originally lived in this place. No, they want to do it for cheap, commercial, commodified, just politics, because everything is just politics for some people. They don't have the same kind of boundaries that grassroots people do, and this is why grassroots people need to be very careful interacting with NGOs that are unregulated and have bullying cultures that are tolerated by the system. So this is my family history in the Corrigin Chronicle, and this is Corrigin, Western Australia, Thursday, December 26th, 1929. And it's obviously, these are the papers for the Corrigin Chronicle, 1829 to 1929, to the men and women pioneers of Western Australia, past, present and future. And there's the people from the Great War who died so that virtue signallers could bitch about them now. This is the Corrigin district names to keep green the memory of the noble dead and the gallant living, who in the cause of country and duty counted not their lives due to them. So these are the people who gave their lives for His Majesty's excursion. So lest we forget, God of our fathers known of old, Lord of our far-flung battle line, beneath whose awful hand we hold dominion over palm and pine, Lord God of hosts, be with us yet, lest we forget, lest we forget. The tumult and the shouting dies, the captains and the kings depart, still stands thine ancient sacrifice, a humble and a contrite heart. Lord God of hosts, be with us yet, lest we forget, lest we forget. Far called our navies melt away, on dune and headland sinks the fire. Lo, all our pomp of yesterday is one with Nineveh and Tyre. Judge of the nations, spare us yet, lest we forget, lest we forget. If drunk with sight of power we lose wild tongues that have not thee in awe, such boasting as the Gentiles use, or lesser breeds without the law, Lord God of hosts, be with us yet, lest we forget, lest we forget. For heathen heart that puts her trust in reeking tube and iron shard, or valiant dust that builds on dust, and guarding cause not thee to guard, for frantic boast and foolish word, thy mercy on thy people, Lord. The Corrigin Rifle Club. My father was a member of this, and I used to go to the Rifle Club and help out in the scores board thing. And so here are the profiles of the pastoral industry. And we're going to go straight through to pioneers of the wheat belt. And so on this page we have George William Rendell from Wando Farm, which is my great-grandfather, and Uncle James Dickinson from Lee Farm is also related. So that's my ancestor on the screen. So George William Rendell, Wando. The holding known as Wando is about 5 miles from Corrigin and is regarded as a very desirable property. It comprises 4,000 acres on what is known as mixed country, of which are cleared, securely fenced, subdivided and well watered throughout. There is a fine 6-roomed house with all conveniences, stables, woolshed and dip, and full machinery equipment for the running of a large property on the most up-to-date lines. 700 merino sheep are at present depasturing on Wando, but the capacity in this direction is much greater. Shearing was recently completed on the farm, and it is interesting to note that the average yield of wool was 9 pounds. Mr. Rendell is a native of Rochester, Victoria. His mother was the first white woman between Bendigo and Echuca. He arrived in WA about 20 years ago and first settled at Wagen. Afterwards, moving to Quillian, in 1914 he secured his present property, which was in its virgin state, and set out to make a home for his wife and family of 9 children, with not a sixpence standing to his credit. What a prospect! What superhuman qualities are possessed by men like Rendell, who could thus face a future of uncertainty and certain privation, such as only comes to those who take up virgin land far removed from the more settled areas. And what of the women? Are they one whit behind the men in courage and resourcefulness, or made of weaker fibre? Let the homes wherein they preside, still maintaining an attitude of watchfulness and care for the minor things of domestic influence, their cheerfulness and loving solicitation for the children now grown into stalwart manhood and womanhood, supply the answer. They too have done their work in the carving out of a home and in the establishment of the nation's future greatness. All honour to them. Indeed, no honour is too great for the noble-hearted countrywomen of Australia, and among these women Mrs. Rendell can rightly take her place, sharing with her pioneer husband the credit of having done an incalculable service to the district and the state. It might be mentioned that Mr. Rendell has always given evidence of a progressive public spirit, apart from his energy as a farmer. He was, in his younger days, interested in all public movements, in which he lent ready assistance. At Wagen, he was a strong supporter and worker in the interest of the Agricultural Society, and later he identified himself with the promotion of the cooperative company at Corrigin. Unfortunately, his activities in a public capacity were retarded through illness some years ago, and since then he has been compelled to keep on his farm, quietly pursuing his avocation. His farm is a model of neatness, and he is recognised as an authority on all subjects pertaining to land development. He generally averages over 4 bags to the acre and is looking forward to a similar yield this season. He favours either Goulias, Nabois, Clubhead or Meriden as being suitable wheats for the district. So that, Grandpapa, is your story. So it shows a different time, a different value system, and a different way of respectfully speaking about sex and gender issues. And this is in the National Library of Australia, and the reference is on the screen now. I think it is a very dangerous activity to re-look at the past with the policy ideas of the present. We need to remember that policy ideas and values change, or have been made to change, from the conservative past to the current decadence. And so we can't look back and impose a value system on a world that we just don't understand. We cannot understand. And the fact is, the city virtue signallers who are now causing division and using race in order to pursue their petty local vendettas that really do make the community look bad, well, these people are really out of touch with the history of the country. If it wasn't for the pioneers of the past, then no one would be alive in this state and country today. And it is a very hard life, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go out to work to grow food for an ungrateful city population. Alright, well, that is my family story. I hope you like that. To my family who are watching, hello. Please like, share and subscribe. Follow us on whatever platform that you're watching on. Please buy us a coffee to help keep our content free. If you'd like to donate money and have us read something for you, then contact us. We appreciate everyone who watches, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
When time steals our years away, shall steal our pleasures too. The memory of the past will stay, and half our joys renew.